What's up, everyone? I'm Andrew Clyden. Welcome to the Door County Pulse, your weekly roundup of the good news and views in Door County. This week on the Pulse, it's a new food fiesta, more virtual events to look forward to, and we dig deep into brewing with Sophie Nelson. All that and more on this week's Door County Pulse. Every week, Aaliyah Kid has been writing food roundup articles for The Pulse that feature all of the new additions to the Door County food scene. One great one that I got to experience was Fat Belly Bowls and Burritos up in Sister Bay. Just really cool. Think Chipotle, but way more creative and with much fresher ingredients. Their location has some great outdoor seating, and the very nature of burritos and bowls makes it an awesome place for a quick bite to eat that you can get to go right now, too. Sharing in the tortilla love on the other side of the peninsula is Lumberjack's Taco Shack on the corner of Michigan and 2nd Avenue in Sturgeon Bay. They've got daily taco specials, which you can check out on their Facebook page, and I recommend following the taco boss himself over on Facebook anyway, just because he seems like a really cool guy. Don't forget to check into the food and drink page on doorcountypulse.com often to keep track of all of the new additions to the food scene this summer. Figured we could keep the food and drink conversation going and check in with Sophie Nelson, Door County's first certified Cicerone, to talk about a new series of articles that she's writing for The Pulse about everything you could ever want to know about brewing. Okay, I'm here with Sophie Nelson, and she's been writing even more really cool, informative beer articles for The Pulse. How are you, Sophie?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm doing really great.
It's fun to write little articles, but it's also really fun to get more in depth of some things that are very important and somehow also overlooked a lot. So I'm just going step by step through each of the ingredients, starting with water, then barley, and then hops, and then yeast. And just getting really into the detail about how they influence beer, what they're made out of, how they're used, where they grow.
Which ones can people read right now?
So I have my water one out, and I have part 1 of barley out.
Perfect. Tell me just a little bit, I don't want to spoil anything, but what's one interesting fact from this barley analysis that you've been doing that you think people would find interesting?
So one thing I find really interesting is in Europe there's what's called a barley grape line or a beer wine line, and it's literally just this, you can map it out with a perfect line, and above this line is where barley grows really well. So in these countries is like, Belgium and Germany and England, and so that's where they have a really great beer culture. And then below that line, barley doesn't grow so well, but grapes grow really well, so that's where you have more wine, so France and Spain and Italy. And so it's really cool how just the ability to grow the ingredients impacted what was brewed.
Awesome. Thanks for coming on to the show and giving people kind of a sneak peek into what they can read this week. And I'm looking forward to having you back on the show in a couple more weeks to talk more about beer.
Yeah, looking forward to it.
Cool.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Bye.
Sophie will be on the Door County Pulse podcast this week, too, so if you enjoyed that conversation and want to hear more, don't forget to check that episode out. If you haven't listened to the Door County Pulse podcast yet, you can get it on whatever podcast app you're already comfortable with. Plus, we're on Spotify, and you can dig into the archives over at doorcountypulse.com. We have highlighted a number of organizations that have gotten creative this summer to either try to offer similar experiences to what you're used to online, or to create entirely new experiences for you to enjoy virtually. One organization that is doing both is the Midsummer Music Festival, which, in addition to offering virtual concerts next month, is also live streaming talks and interviews on their Facebook page and YouTube channel, which you can watch live or archived after the fact. In their most recent talk, Jacob Beranek, the Midsummer music composer in residence, shares his knowledge about the great Czech composer Bohuslav Martinu. You can check out all of Midsummer's virtual events on their Facebook page and their YouTube channel. Finally, this week in The Pulse, there's some interesting stories to check out, including some developments on the potential sale of Fred and Fuzzies. Chicago has added Wisconsin to a list of states that visitors to and from will be required to self-quarantine upon arrival in the city for 14 days, and failure to do so could result in fines up to $500. So that's something that you might have to keep in mind starting July 31st. Also, if you've been on our Facebook page recently, you might have seen the pinned post at the top about our decision not to post our news articles to Facebook for the time being. And that decision came about in an attempt to try to facilitate better conversations. If you are missing the news in your Facebook feed, there are a bunch of different options that you have in order to stay up to date on Door County current events. Our website is full of current articles. If you're not picking up the paper every week, that's the best way to experience the articles in the beautiful layout that's designed by Ryan Miller every week. If you want to get daily emails about what's going on, you can go to pulsepix.com and sign up for our email newsletter. And the Door County Pulse podcast is a great way to hear more context surrounding the news of the day in Door County. So there are a bunch of great options for you outside of your Facebook page if you want to stay up to date on what's going on. And I think that that's just about going to do it for this week. That is just some of the cool stuff that's going on in Door County. If you have something that you'd like to share with us, send it to our Facebook page at Peninsula Pulse. We cannot wait to see what you and your neighbors have been up to. Thank you for watching the Door County Pulse. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, all that YouTube stuff. If you're watching over on Facebook, share the video with somebody who you think might enjoy it. Thank you for watching the Door County Pulse, and I will see you again next week.